What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Dark Outpost, and I have for you today presented as a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Something posted on 4chan. Now, Lethal Lightning is the one who first showed me this and alerted me to this, and it is really interesting. Obviously, anybody can go on here and be like, "Hey, I'm a Lucasfilm insider. I work at Lucasfilm. This is what we're doing." And, there's no verification. However, we thought the same thing about people posting on Reddit. Rise of Skywalker leaks, Jedi Praxis leaks that turned out to be literally shot for shot truth when it came down to the movie. So these things are accurate sometimes. I don't necessarily find this particularly reliable. However, there's something at the end I wanted to talk about in respect to the expanded universe and why, if they did this, it would be a slap in the face again to expanded universe fans. And what I would have wanted to see and loved to see, and given so much more money to Disney and Lucasfilm if they had gone this route. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. So real quick, this is someone who says, lost my job this morning, so here we effing go, I guess. Not going to list every single greenlit book and comic, but here's the notable stuff. And they go through Mandalorian Season 2, Kenobi series, now retitled Old Ben. Maybe I theorized that I thought that they could do that in the Kenobi series, go over a time frame, so maybe that's possible. Cassian Andor series on hiatus. No one cares about Cassian Andor. I can believe that. Clone Wars Season 7 and potential Season 8. Star Wars Detours may or may not. I don't even know what that is. Original trilogy archival editions, restored versions of the OT. A lot of legality to releasing this one, but it's planned to be released eventually. I do believe that because I think that's something that like nearly everyone could get on board with. The original editions. Now, is George Lucas going to allow that to happen? That's probably the holdup there, if this is true. Old Republic film trilogy, originally helmed by Game of Thrones guys, now searching for replacement directors. I do believe that that is what they want to do. Go to the Old Republic. So I'll save that for a different video. This is the one that made everybody laugh. Echoes of the Future, a Broadway musical, follows Rey after episode 9. Come on. That makes people roll their eyes. Is that possible? I suppose. Something about Rian Johnson's trilogy. If you want to check that out, go to Geeks and Gamers. Jeremy just talked about that. A potential Thrawn movie that was just greenlit. God, I would hate that. Project Luminous. Unknown what that means. A new EA game called Jedi Fallen Hope. But most importantly, this right here. New Jedi Order, an animated series by Filoni following Luke building his new order. They want Mark Hamill to return and voice Luke. And that would just be, like I said, the ultimate slap in the face, at least to me, because New Jedi Order, if you're not familiar, is from Legends. It's from the expanded universe. The New Jedi Order series is a series of 19 books, a project unlike anything we'd ever seen in Star Wars before. And I'll take this down now. Unlike anything we'd ever seen in Star Wars before, or really many other franchises. It's a story that they had 12 different authors writing 19 different books in this series. A huge project that took a lot of planning with George Lucas's specific involvement. I believe the first book came out in 1999, right around there. It went for several years, published over several years. And if they were to do an animated series based on the new canon and call it New Jedi Order, that would be an absolute farce. Right now, what does it even matter? Luke Skywalker tried to build his order. He trained a couple people up, and they were all killed by either Kylo Ren or Emperor Palpatine, depending on which comic book they want to use or if they want to talk about how it was predicted in the movies, how it was talked about in novels, or how it was done in the comic books, right? Depending on how you want to believe it, Luke's Jedi Academy got destroyed. He failed. It got blown up. There is no New Jedi Order. There is only Rey Skywalker going forward. So I don't see any point why anyone would want that. Like I said, I don't find these leaks super believable, but what I have always talked about and what I would want to see in 2012 when Disney bought Star Wars, this was literally in my mind. This is one thing I was hoping would happen. We would get an animated version of a New Jedi Order. That's what I said. I said that I would want that because I think you could have been able to do so much with it. And real briefly, I'll tell you the overview of this, of this series that I am so enamored with. It was some people didn't like it because Star Wars took a really dark turn. We had a lot of major characters die. We had a lot of death. It was not a happy time in the Star Wars universe, which was a change. It was a change in the villains they're fighting, because so many stories up until then had been dealing with the remnants of the Empire. Because unlike, this First Order that popped up in new Star Wars canon, I don't really understand how it popped up, why it popped up, what it is. But much like we see in Star Wars The Mandalorian, one thing they actually do is you have remnants of the Empire. It doesn't just go away in a year. The galaxy is huge, and the Empire was a vast war machine. They had a lot of firepower. They had control of a lot of worlds, and it took the New Republic a long time to finally come to a lasting peace with the little remnants of the Empire and take care of that threat. In New Jedi Order, you introduced something else. You introduced characters called the Yuzong Vong, an extra galactic enemy who were immune to the Force and were absolute warriors. And they were hell-bent. They had this religious fervor to what they were doing. They were hell-bent on conquering the galaxy. And they damn near did. They drove a spear into the heart of the New Republic. They conquered Coruscant. They killed so many Jedi in Luke's New Jedi Order. And one of the things that this series did was what Disney Star Wars should have done is it took our legacy characters, and they were still forefront. They were very important in this series of novels. But it also took the next generation, the new Jedi Order that Luke had trained, and it put them at the forefront as well, battling alongside, starting to take up the responsibility, starting to realize that they needed more than just Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia, and Lando, and Chewie together. They needed these young new Jedi Knights that were Luke's successors. Luke had done what he promised to do, recreate the Jedi Order. And at this point, there are a few hundred Jedi, not many, a few hundred. And, it's so cool to see some of these characters, like Ganna Rysode, who you have no attachment to really before this series. Tahiri Vela. You get to see Luke and Leia's, God, I keep saying that, Han and Leia's kids, Jason, Jaina, and Anakin Solo, grow up in a galaxy that's, stricken with war, where they see their friends dying. They don't know what's going to happen next. I love this series so much. Luke Skywalker has flaws in it. He's too hesitant. He's worried that his young Jedi may fall to the dark side if they respond to aggression with aggression. And it's a journey for him to come to grips with what he has done. It's just, some people don't like it because some people would like for their Star Wars stories to be happy-go-lucky. Some people would like for their Star Wars stories to not have any death. They don't want to see a major character die. I'm not going to talk about that character. You can look it up if you want, I'm sure. But from the start of the first book, Vector Prime, you knew that this was different. This was a Star Wars universe with consequences. And I ate it up. I loved it. And I would have loved to see, because they couldn't have done it on a movie. It would have had to be animated. The Yuzong Vong are so vast that it would have cost so much money to do CGI that way, I think. And you couldn't have had Luke at that age. You couldn't have Han and Leia at that age. It wouldn't have made any sense. But you could do it animated, 100%. So to see this pop up on this Reddit, or on this 4chan leak from this supposed Lucasfilm insider, which I don't believe, but it kind of triggered me when I saw it, I'll be honest. Because New Jedi Order is one of the things I have such an attachment to. And I wanted to see that in 2012. Then in 2014, when they said F it, F the expanded universe, I was heartbroken, that being one of the reasons. For them to come and do this farcical New Jedi Order that doesn't mean anything. We only know a couple of the Jedi that Luke even trained from one comic, The Rise of Kylo Ren. That's the only place I've seen any other students from Luke's New Jedi Order that failed in this Disney trilogy. So if that were to come to fruition, I would just be beside myself. It would give me something to rage at hard, because of how attached I am to the actual New Jedi Order and actual Star Wars. And like I said, Lucas Lucas was very involved with this because they wanted to kill off Luke Skywalker in this set of novels. And George put his foot down and said, no, you cannot kill Luke Skywalker. And they came up with some alternatives. They also wanted Anakin Solo to be the hero of this series of novels. George put his foot down and said no. It was George's idea to not have it be dark side Force users, to have it be a different enemy that, wasn't the same thing, light versus dark all over again. So George Lucas was very involved in the creation of the new Jedi Order, or at least with turning down ideas before some of them got accepted. Anyway, that's just, I wanted to do a brief aside on that, talk to you guys about some of these leaks. I don't find super believable. I think we should address them, though. Get it out there. Let people decide for themselves what they think. But that new Jedi Order, don't do it. Don't do it. The combination of bastardizing something I love and Dave Filoni, please don't do it. But that's really all I had. I want to know what you guys think. If you think that any of these things might be believable, obviously we know Mandalorian Season 2 is going on, but do you think this is real? Do you think it's somebody trolling? I want to hear your thoughts. The thing that I describe about the new Jedi Order animated series from Legends, from the expanded universe, is that something that interests you? Is it something that you would have liked to see? If it's a story you're interested in, I implore you, get into the expanded universe so you can start reading a new Jedi Order. It sets up so many stories after that as well. And if you like that, you will be hooked on post-Return of the Jedi EU. I guarantee it. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about everything we talked about. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.